Hello, good morning. I'm doing lesson 162 from A Course in Miracles. I jumped ahead because I really wanted to step into this incredible lesson that's going to really provide us with a whole new way of being in one lesson, which is why I love the Course. It really takes you from fear to love in about 10 minutes. So this might be short. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But this lesson is one of the key lessons that repeats in the Course. It's called I Am as God Created Me. And it's really about you being willing to open up to receive who you really are and to allow yourself to recognize that you're whole and complete. And there's nothing wrong with you. No matter what you're going through, no matter what's happening in your life, your circumstances, this is still the truth. Okay. And of course, we deny it because we're caught in our minds and we're caught in our egoic thought system that brings us out of alignment and out of the recognition of who you are and the awareness of your wholeness and your happiness, really. And this is why we do this course, to bring us into peace, okay, and alignment and freedom. So every single day, all you'd have to do to really be free is to repeat these words to yourself. Now, this is really kind of simplistic, but I really mean it, because as I've done this course over the years, my first year I did it, it only took me 2 months to come out of depression. And that's because I was doing this daily. I had a discipline going on. I was a trained musician. I knew about discipline, that if you did it every day, you were going to get good at it. It'll be sort of miraculous. Like, oh, all I did was do that thing every day for an hour, and it worked. And that's what human minds resist. We resist being disciplined because we like to just do it our way. Well, that's your ego. So my throat's starting to get activated here. Just notice that sometimes when you start to speak the truth, it's going to bring things up. It's going to open up your throat chakra. It's going to create some kind of gravelly sound in there, because your body and your energy field and your wisdom wants to come through. And there may be resistance to that. So when you start singing, and I do sing, but you got to clear this throat chakra out, because it's got a lot of resistance to speaking the truth for lots of reasons, past lives where we were burned at the stake for being the heretics or whatever we were. Those experiences have kept us playing small. And I was told to be quiet a lot when I was a kid, because I was one of 10 children. It was always like, sure, lower your voice, be quiet. And I had to realize over time it was detrimental to me, because it made me shut down when I needed to be expressive. Okay. So as we're coming out of the ego, of the shutting ourselves down or holding back in any way in our lives and who we're being, I just want to say, if you struggle with that, I get it. I was there too. I mean, there's no way I was going to do this kind of work before I found the course. In fact, I tried to take a public speaking course, dropped it. I was like terrified to get up for the first assignment, to get up in front of people and say something. I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. So it was really like, I thought they were going to train us to do it, but they were just like, get up in front and speak. And I'm like, no. And yet here I am, and I've been teaching for 30 years now. So the point of it is, we're all afraid to speak because we're all afraid to share who we really are with people. And it's really because we haven't come to terms with who we are. We haven't accepted this lesson. So let's dive into it, okay? I am as God created me. This is 162 right now. I am as God created me. Now, it's like doing mirror work. Do you ever do mirror work where you look in the mirror and, I love you, you're beautiful, you look amazing today. Oh my God, I think you're incredible. Do you ever do that? So you got to do that. You got to learn to love yourself and bring your love into your experience of yourself. The light wants you to be free, right? Your holy self knows that you're free, but you in your incarnated self, in your body form, you just don't know. Like, you're afraid because you're in a place of third dimension where there's a lot of attack defense going on. Just say that, right? Because the ego is all attack defense. It's not all that's going on, but that's a lot of what's going on. So it's, unless you're just kind of fearless and you just grew up being big and you were going to go live a big life because you had parents that demonstrated that to you, which thankfully, I mean, if that's you, great. But a lot of us grew up not that, and we've had to overcome a lot of the struggles of being held back or being, just not encouraged perhaps to truly be ourselves and be ourselves in the world. So I just want to say I have this very high ideal for you, that it's time for you to step out. This is not about me. This is all about you. And I'm saying that because I don't need to keep teaching Course in Miracles. I've done it for 30 years. But now I see that for myself. I do know, because I've embraced the whole thing. I've embodied it. But I see that you need it or are asking for it. And a lot of people are struggling and looking for the answer to their dilemma of suffering. Okay, because your ego mind is going to keep you in suffering and it's hell-bent on keeping you there. And if you're in a war with yourself and you have a lot of conflict going on in your mind, this will help you. All right, I just really want to say that because I'm an energy healer too, and I know that the energy of this course is so high vibration. It's the highest vibration on the planet, this Course in Miracles, and it was measured by David Hawkins, who did the measurement of all the emotions and everything. So, and I can share that with you if you want, but David Hawkins, look him up. He was an amazing man. Key lesson 162. So we're going to jump right in. This course will set you free. I'm just going to say that. And here's why, and here's how. Okay. This won't take long. And if you have this distracted mind, shut everything else off. I got WhatsApp up here. I'm going to close it. Just close everything else, because these distractions, all they do is keep you in struggle, pain, unfocused, distracted. And that's our dilemma right now. That's our disease on the planet, among many others. But distraction's a big one. And the ego loves it, because then you don't get to be free. You just stay distracted. Okay, let me see if there's anything else. Deep breath. Come down into the heart and throat. I'm tapping here because tapping is very powerful and it really works to open up the centers. Third eye. I know these are all the nadies, right? Here, collarbone. I do the sternum and I do under the arm. So the sternum to me is the heart center. The collarbone's part of that whole throat chakra, heart center area. And the heart, I'm just going to put something to rest here. Heart is not separate from your mind. There's no separation. Okay, the heart is, I'm just going to say that. Don't separate heart and mind. Okay, it just creates a war within yourself. It creates more conflict. Just be in your heart, but know that your mind is a part of that. Your whole mind. Your joyful, peaceful mind that God created, which is what you are. You are the whole holy mind of God himself. You are the Holy Son of God himself. And that's a mind. It's not the ego mind, but it's the mind of God, which is in everything I see, right? This is the Course in Miracles. Everything I see, God is the mind with which I think. God is the love with which I forgive. God is the strength in which I trust. It's God in everything I see. It's not a separate world. There's no separation between you and God. So that's why we can wake up, is the recognition of that. All right, our whole dilemma here is separation. So we're healing that today. All right, so feel the energy of what I'm sharing with you and know that it's coming from my higher self and from the author of the Course in Miracles. Okay, the Christ mind. So key lesson 162, I am as God created me. This single thought held firmly in mind would save the world. From time to time, we will repeat it as we reach another stage in learning. It will mean far more to you as you advance. And these words are sacred because they are words that God gave in answer to the world you made. By them it disappears, and in all things seen within its misty clouds and vaporous illusions, vanish as these words are spoken, for they come from God. This brings me to tears. They come from God. I am as God created me. So no matter what you've been conditioned to believe about yourself, or what false beliefs you're holding, or what struggles you're going through, your anger, your bitterness, your resentments, put it aside for this moment, okay? I know you got those. We all do. Just put them aside for right now and feel the energy of this course, this lesson. By them, these words, all things seen within its misty clouds and vaporous illusions vanish as these words are spoken, for they come from God. They come from God to you. I am as God created me. I am his son eternally. His son can suffer nothing, and I am his son. Just feel it. And say it, repeat it. I am as God created me. I am his son eternally. His son can suffer nothing, and I am his son. Feel it, quiet your mind down. Just going to quiet your mind and feel the energy. It's starting to want me to like really give energy to this. And I am. Here is the word by which the son became his father's happiness, his love, and his completion. Did you know that you complete God? Yeah. The son became his father's happiness, his love, and his completion. Here creation is proclaimed and honored as it is. Here creation, I said that. There is no dream these words will not dispel. There is no dream. These words will not dispel. No thought of sin and no illusion which the dream contains that will not fade away before their might. They are the trumpet of awakening that sounds around the world. Yes. Shout it from the housetops. The dead awake in answer to its call, and those who live and hear this sound will never look on death. Death is an illusion. You cannot die. You're free. You're not a body. You're free. Rejoice. Holy indeed is he who makes these words his own, arising with them in his mind, recalling them throughout the day, at night bringing them with him as he goes to sleep. And it takes that constant repetition. His dreams are happy and his rest secure, his safety certain and his body healed, because he sleeps and wakens with the truth before him always. You have all power. The power is in the word that you speak is how we bring it forth. Yeah? Okay. His dreams are happy and his rest secure, his safety certain and his body healed, because he sleeps and wakens with the truth before him always. He will save the world because he gives the world what he receives each time he practices the words of truth. Today we practice simply, I am as God created me. I am as God created me. For the words we use are mighty. They need no thoughts beyond themselves to change the mind of him who uses them. So use them. Use them today. So holy is it changed that it is now the treasury in which God places all his gifts and all his love to be distributed to all the world, increased in giving. So you've got to give it, right? To receive it, to have it, to keep it. Kept complete because its sharing is unlimited. You know that sharing is the key to healing the world. Sharing your light with people, sharing your love. Someone called me today and thanked me for a conversation I had with her like 2-3 years ago. She said, "You changed my life." I was like, "Oh, thanks for letting me know." You just never know, right? He will save the world because he gives the world what he receives each time he practices the words of truth. Today we practice simply. Okay. The words we use are mighty. I am as God created me. They're mighty words. Thus you learn to think with God. You learn to think with God by sharing these thoughts, by speaking them aloud, telling people. Christ's vision has restored your sight by salvaging your mind. Your mind needs salvaging because you have a lot of illusions in your mind. You have a whole thought system over here that's constantly attacking you, constantly giving you thoughts that don't really make any sense. It's total insanity. It's all based in fear. It's all based in separation. It's all based in guilt, suffering, sacrifice, and death. And that's not what God created. That's why it's an illusion. Okay, now I know you don't believe that, or maybe you do, but you haven't experienced it. Good. That's why you're here. Thanks for being here. Really, all you need is the willingness to do this each and every moment that you feel any pain or any temptation to go off into the ether of, or, get into the astral world, or, get distracted by other, whatever. I'm not going to say stuff, I'm not opinionated. I just know that this works. Other things work. There's 1,000 ways to get to God, but this really works. This is one that totally works. I promise you. Okay. And it's not a theory. And we're not just saying words. Okay. I have a whole story behind, how I was completely lifted out of this realm and brought into a whole light realm that just blew me away. It was like my ego died and I was in total light. And I go in and out of that all the time now. So here's the point. It's possible for you to disappear into light. It's possible for you to have this full-on awakening. It's up to you. And it's a required course, meaning might as well do it because it works. Right? All right, we'll continue. We honor you today, and I honor you. I totally honor you. Whatever journey you've been on, whatever path you've been on, it doesn't matter. This will still support you. This does not take you away from other belief systems. It just enhances the ideas that God is love, and that's what you are. That's my religion, love. And forgiveness is the key to happiness. That's it. That's the Course in Miracles. You don't have to believe anything else. In fact, I suggest that you actually challenge your beliefs and challenge what you think this is telling you. If you never question it and you just accept it without challenging it, you're not really doing the course. You got to get in there and really ask, how does this help me? Well, if you try it, you'll find out. If you do the work of the course, if you do the workbook, you'll find out that it actually helps you. It's not just, intellectual exercises for theorizing about Jesus and Helen and Bill and I don't care about that. I love you guys. Thank you for bringing this in. The course is the course. It's the curriculum. And if I'm not doing this every day, I'm not doing the course. I might be talking about it, but it's meaningless, right? Because the ego loves to be, analyzing, figuring things out, and nothing happens in that world. You're still in your ego. It's a spiritual ego. Doesn't make it better. It's still an ego, right? It's still distraction from the truth of you. And if that pisses you off, good. It should. I'm trying to save you some time here. Right? Stop reading books about things and do a program that actually gets you where you want to be. Because seek and do not find is ridiculous. And that's the ego's motto. Seek and do not find. And you go down that road, you come up empty every time. You've been doing it a while, right? So possibly, I don't know. I was at it for lifetimes. But I get when something works for me, it freaking works. And I will tell the world. This works for me. Yay. And then find people perhaps who are really getting value from this. Not just value. I mean, my awakening, my discovery of my true self, who I really am. Can't put them like, that's so valuable. It's beyond value. It's beyond the value of this world, that's for sure. So what do you value? Do you value time? Do you value money? Do you want to save time? Here you go. Here's this course. I promise you, it'll save you a whole lot of time. We honor you today. I honor everything you've been through. Yours is the right to perfect holiness you now accept. So accept it. And it's yours. You have the right to perfect holiness. With this acceptance is salvation brought to everyone who would cherish sin when holiness like this has blessed the world. Who would cherish sin when holiness like this has blessed the world? Who could despair when perfect joy is yours? Available to all as remedy for grief and misery, all sense of loss, and for complete escape from sin or guilt. And guilt. Complete escape from sin and guilt? Hello. I'll have that. Even if I don't believe it. It's what I want. Do you? Or do you like your world of sin and suffering? Or maybe you think it's not that easy. So be careful what you're saying about it, because that's how it's going to be for you. And so it is, right? Whatever you say, so it is. It's easy to do the Course in Miracles. It's full of love. It brings you out of fear. It brings you out of loneliness. It brings you out of separation. It does. Thankfully, if you do it. All right. And who would not be brother to you now? You, his Redeemer and his Savior. What are we being saved from? Our nightmare of separation. Which isn't even true. It's not true. It's not a real thing. But we're being saved from it anyway, because we think it's true. I think it's true. When I'm stuck in my whirlwind of nonsense that keeps saying stories that don't make sense, that don't actually, they're not really true. They're just things I made up, and I still think that they're true. All right. This is what we're being saved from. The nightmare of separation and the illusion of that. And who would not be brother to you now? His Redeemer and his Savior. Who could fail to welcome you into his heart with loving invitation, eager to unite with one like him in holiness? I'm not different than you. I'm just like you. I just asked for help 30 years ago. I didn't want to wait. I was in my dark bottoming out when I was 30 years old. So you are as God created you. These words dispel the night, and darkness is no more. Wow. Can you get that? These words dispel the night, and darkness is no more. The light has come today to bless the world, for you have recognized the Son of God, and in that recognition is the world's recognition that you are the Son of God. Right? Each of us, there's no hierarchy here. There's no hierarchy in the Course in Miracles. Zero. We're all equally sons of God, and that's what Jesus proclaimed. You are the light of the world. Right? You believe in me, you will not see death. Love God, love your neighbor as yourself. Come on home. That's it. Love your neighbor as yourself, because your neighbor is yourself. So if you're suffering, that's me suffering. So I can't stand your suffering. I want you to be free. I want to give you this solution because I found it for myself. And I had a teacher, amazing teacher, that just sat there teaching for 20 years. And he shared his light and his wisdom with us every single day and for hours and hours and hours. Okay. That's the master teacher for the course. So if you want to know more about that, go to acimi.com, acimi.com, and you'll find the videos and everything. All right. I am as God created me. It's my birthright to be free. It's your birthright to be free, to declare this to the world. I am as God created me. His son can suffer nothing, and I am his son. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Yes, 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 yes. Do the tapping. Yes, 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 yes. Let your heart open to receive the message. Let your heart open to receive the love. Sometimes we're really great at giving, but we're not good at receiving. So receive this love. Close your mouth and receive the love. Don't object. Just receive the love. It's all coming into you now. It's all coming from this higher frequency that wants you to be free. Because you already are free. You just don't know it. You already know all this. I'm just reminding you. You already know of freedom. You already know of heaven. You already know of being the light of the world. You already know all that. You might have forgotten. So I'm here to remind you. Let's go home. Yeah. Yeah, I really mean it. I do. Deep breath. Can you imagine being free? I mean, totally free. Can you imagine having the things that you want? Can you imagine having miracles happen in your life? And give up the things of the world. You know, I mean, these things are fleeting anyway. They come and they go. They come and they go. They're things. They're just things. But this is eternal. Can't measure it. It's eternal. It's your real self. I am as God created me. That's it. I don't know how long that took, but that's the end of the lesson. And I want to thank you for listening. And I hope that you can bring this beautiful love and light into the world now and know who you are and share it with the world. Thanks so much for listening. I love you. Blessings.